What's up, YouTube? My name is J-Max. As you can see, it's just me, and I'm back to react to another one of your recommendations. What do we have on deck today? Tim Minchin. Let's go! What's up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. If this is your first time, it's nice to meet you. My name is J-Max, and I'm just a guy on the internet who really enjoys music and will listen to basically whatever you tell me to. Today, we are jumping into yet another Tim Minchin video. It's been a little while since I have reacted to a Tim Minchin song, poem thing, whatever you want to call them. I'm not really sure what to call them. Usually they're songs. The last one I did, I think, was a poem, though, a beat poem. This, I think it's a song. This is Rock and Roll Nerd. This is one of the first ones that was recommended that I check out, especially after the first video that I reacted to from Tim. From what people have told me, this will kind of explain his look, I guess, and how he kind of has come to look the way that he does when he does these things. I don't really know. I don't know what to expect. I've never heard this before. I don't know what I'm getting into, but without further ado, let's jump into Rock and Roll Nerd by Tim Minchin. Let's do this. He's such a good pianist, man. I gotta learn. I gotta start learning.
He doesn't have a problem with drugs. He just doesn't get them. He's fine that his mates have tattoos, but he thinks they'll regret them.
Yeah.
He likes going to pubs, but he hates it when the music's too loud. He tends not to go to rock concerts because he can't stand the crowds. But all he's ever wanted to be is a rock star on Rage or MTV. But he knows that it's not fucking likely. He just turned 30. He knows that he will always be.
All right, before we continue, he wants to be, what did he say? He wants to be a rock and roll or like a rock star essentially, but he knows it's unlikely because he just turned 30. I resonate with that because I recently turned 30, and 30 is like a weird age. And I said a little bit about this when I reacted to Bo Burnham's turning 30 video, but it's like a weird pivotal age in people's lives where they feel like their life is beyond, like, whatever they're settled into is what they're settled into. I'm trying not to subscribe to that ideology, but it's difficult. It's difficult when you wake up and your knees hurt and you're like, this is a new pain. Why does my back hurt from mulching or from doing yard work or from just sleeping? Like, what is going on? But anyways, let's get back into this.
He knows that it's not fucking likely. He just turned 30. He knows that he will always be a rock and roll nerd. He'll keep writing songs the world will never hear, and though they won't be heard, he'll just keep writing. Oh yeah, but you see the problem is he always dreamt of being a star, but he learned piano instead of guitar.
Oh.
Which in the 90s didn't get you very far. So while the other kids were learning Stairway, he was the piano to their forte. But he was convinced one day he'd rock their fucking asses.
Hell yeah.
Be an icon for the disenfranchised masses. Grow his hair long and rebel against the state. But just for now that'd have to wait, cause he's running late for his morning classes, and he will always be a rock and roll nerd.
Hey.
Keep playing.
Tim is such a good singer too. Like, on top of being a really good pianist, like, he can actually sing pretty well. Like, I'm very impressed. So I do kind of see how he's kind of talking about himself, I think, a little bit in this. At least that's kind of what I'm picking up from it, how he learned piano or taught himself piano instead of guitar, because let's face it, if you're shooting to be a rock star or whatever, a guitar is That's just synonymous with being a rock star. So a piano is usually the background, or usually isn't even in a rock band or rock in general. It's just kind of doesn't really fit the genre, I think. So let's continue.
Cause he's running late for his morning classes, and he will always be a rock and roll nerd. He'll keep playing gigs that no one knows about, and though it sounds absurd, he'll just keep playing. Oh yeah, but you see the problem is there's not much depth in what he's singing. He's a victim of his upper middle class upbringing. So he can't write about the hood or bling bling. So he sits and imagines his girlfriend is dead.
Oh.
Trying to evoke some
And imagines his girlfriend is dead. Wait, what did I just watch? I watched Tick Tick Boom. I can't remember the guy's name, but Andrew Garfield was in it. He played the writer for the Rent musical. The name of the guy escapes me right now, but there was a scene when he was trying to finish his play, and his girlfriend was like, you just don't spend time with me or whatever, you know, it's like, you don't value me over your work. And he was like, I'm so sorry. And like, they had a moment where you thought they were going to get back together. And he was like, you could see him trying to figure out how he was going to turn this situation into a song to make it relatable, or to just spark whatever that creative juices that he needed for that moment. And so it's funny that he would say that because of his upper middle class, or just middle class upbringing, where he can't relate to the struggles of being in poverty and being in the hood, but also can't relate to being uber rich and just talking about being affluent and having all these beautiful shiny things. So it's like, where do you find that inspiration? How do you relate to people, you know, that would consume your content? And it's like a weird, am I interesting? Am I not? I don't really know. I see you, Tim. I see you, bro.
Imagines his girlfriend is dead. To try and evoke some angst in his middle class head. But the bitch is always fine at 9:30 when they go to bed. And he's not spent a single night in prison.
Yep.
He has no issues with nutrition. He has no drinking problem and no drug addiction. Unless you count the drugs they put in chicken.
Yeah. That's so, oh, bro, that's facts. My wife is a dietitian, and she talks all the time about how not eating whole and eating organic is basically like the worst thing in the world. And I don't disagree with her. I mean, she has the education. She knows all about this stuff way more than I do. I'm not a part of that world, but I get it. It makes sense to me. It does. It does. But this is interesting stuff that he's talking about here. I'm intrigued by this song, very much so.
And no drug addiction, unless you count the drugs they put in chicken. And marijuana always tends to make him cough. He doesn't look good with his t-shirt off, and when he tries to act tough, you can tell he's tricking. Go out late, popping pills and having fun. He goes home and showers and gets a good 8 hours. He gets thrills from his morning run. While his mates will go on dates, taking speed and drinking cans of Jim Beam. He stays home and cooks, curls up with the book with the girl he's had since he was 17. Cause he's never really been part of the scene. Give him Guns N' Roses, he'll take Queen. He's more into Beatles than the Stones. He's more Stevie Wonder than Ramones. And he's never owned a panel van. He never shot a Pantera band. He doesn't know the difference between metal and thrash. He couldn't tell you nothing about Axl and Slash. He spent balls in the Jackson 5. He knows all the words to staying alive. So he wants to be all punchy and cool. He spent 11 years at a private school. So it don't matter how he tries. He cannot hide behind his rock and roll lies. Cause you've either got it or you don't. Yeah, you'll either rock it or you won't. You've either got it or you don't. Rock it or you won't. You've either got it or you don't. He knows that his music lacks depth. It just can't be helped. He has nothing interesting to say, so he writes about himself. But he doesn't want to seem self-obsessed, so he writes in third person. In an attempt to seem more rock and roll, but he suspects it's not working. And deep in his heart he knows that he'll never be Silverchair or Eskimo Joe. And even if he was quite pretty with small pants like Kylie, he knows that he will always be a rock and roll nerd. He'll keep writing songs the world don't care about. Though it sounds absurd, he'll just keep writing. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You can criticize him, but he won't care, 'cause he wants to rock, and he will never be deterred. But he'll always be a fucked up little try-hard wannabe rock and roll nerd. Rock and roll nerd.
Oh. Why jump off the bench like that? Oh, that was funny. That was good. That was Tim Minchin's Rock and Roll Nerd. I have a lot of thoughts about what he was saying. I mean, I get it. It was kind of like his, I don't know if you want to call it an autobiography, but just like a self-reflection, I guess, if you will, about his music and the music he makes and his inspirations, where he came from, and why he looks the way he does. I get it now. I get it. I get why people said, because I said in the first video that he looked wild. He looked crazy just because his hair was all over the place and he had the eyeliner, and which isn't crazy really at the end of the day. If you really think about it, I was just judging a book by its cover, which I know I shouldn't do, but can you blame me at sometimes? But I resonate a lot with where he's coming from, because I grew up very similarly to where Tim did, where I grew up middle class. I wasn't in the hood. I wasn't struggling like that, but we also weren't wealthy. Like we had our struggles. We had our nights where all we ate, or weeks, or a couple weeks where all we ate for dinner was like spaghetti and red sauce, which is, fine. But my mom was a single mom and did what she had to do to, get us through. And we had a pretty good upbringing, but that life isn't like, what am I trying to, it's not like, fun to talk about. It's not, it doesn't grab your attention for an audience. I'm not talking about the struggles of being in the hood or growing up in, where my dad grew up in Inglewood, California, where it's like gang relations on every corner. And I grew up in the suburbs of Southern California, and I didn't really struggle with much. Like I'd walk to school most of the time by myself, and so I kind of understand where it's like that weird middle ground of like, you want to be this content creator person, individual, but it's like, what do I have to say? I don't really know. Like, I enjoy what I do, but am I boring at the end of the day? That's kind of some things that I struggle with now, doing like this kind of stuff and trying to build what I'm building now. And thinking about starting a podcast. I'm like, what would I say on the podcast? I don't know. So I kind of understand where he's coming from. It's tough, but that was a fun song. I love everything Tim Minchin does. I'm a big fan. I've only heard like 4 things now, but I'm really enjoying his work and the insight that he puts into it and the self-reflection that he puts into it, and how he really doesn't like take himself seriously, I guess, if that's something that, the bigger Tim Minchin fans, or the ones who've been following him for years and years and years, would agree with, or would say that that's true or not. I don't know. Happy to have a discussion about it in the comments. But yeah, I don't really know what else to say about this. I get his persona now. I understand kind of where he's coming from and how, and it's interesting though how he says that, he doesn't have anything to say, but I have found so far the things that I have heard from him, he kind of does have like a lot to say. I mean, yes, it's, what did he say, going against the establishment. I don't even know if that's what he said. The state, that's what he said. The state, going against the state. And a lot of that comes with like religion and going against like the religious extremists, I guess, if that's what you would want to call them. And I resonate with that quite a bit. I mean, I'm recording this today on Easter Sunday, and today was a whirlwind sort of for me, with people texting me, "Happy Easter, he has risen." And I'm like, don't do this. Don't let me. This is a Sunday for me. This is just Sunday. What is Easter? What is Easter? Why is it associated with a rabbit? I don't know. That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know how the two are, whatever. I'm jumping down a rabbit hole. Anyways, I'm going to get out of here before I just start to ramble about stuff. Tim is Tim, and I love everything that he does, and I appreciate the music and the things that he says. And I'm excited to jump into more things. I know I have a laundry list of other videos and songs from him that I got to jump into, so let me know what you would want to see next from me. I have a few that are up on my list, but let me know down in the comments below what you would like to see next, something that you took from this, if there is anything deeper than what I heard that you would want to discuss about this, or if you had a similar upbringing to what Tim talked about. Leave a comment down below. I want to have a chat with you guys. I love talking with all the Tim fans and seeing the comments flood in and seeing what you guys think about his music and what he says and stuff like that. So yeah, leave a comment down below, like the video if you enjoyed it, and be sure to subscribe to the channel for more Tim Minchin. And with that, I will see you in the next one. Peace.